Welcome to Sundry News for Tuesday, July 14th. Beginning with the Daily Wire, murders, gun violence increased in these 6 major cities as defund the police went mainstream. Not surprising to anybody who actually uses their brain, because the world is not some perfect crime-free utopia just waiting to happen. No. People are bad. Not all people are bad. Like, not all people. But, okay. I do believe that all people are bad, but not all people are bad enough to be criminals all the time. But, just like not all people are bad, not all people are good. You can't trust people to follow the rules if there is no enforcement of the rules. I can't believe that that has to be said, but apparently it does. Authority is there for a reason. Nearly 7 weeks have passed since George Floyd was killed on May 25th while in police custody. Viral video of his death sparked nationwide protests, civil unrest, and accelerated efforts for systemic, transformational changes to America's criminal justice system. But as Black Lives Matter inspired calls to defund the police and reimagine public safety went mainstream, several major U.S. cities simultaneously experienced an increase in murders and gun violence. Although it is not conclusive why homicide rates or shootings have soared in so many places, experts acknowledge several possible contributing factors in addition to the recent protests. Such as defunding the police becoming a rallying cry and being taken up by actual city council members and even mayors could be a contributing factor, possibly. Yeah. Dr. Phil mourns as tragedy is confirmed from thegraylines.com. Catholic churches across the country burned and vandalized over the weekend. Not cool. Super, super not cool. Churches, especially old churches. I guess just like if you built a church last week, that's not history. But for the most part, definitely looks like this picture of this church. This is history. This is great architecture that you're destroying. Just purely looking at it from a mainstream point of view, not speaking as a Christian, even though I am. Secularly, this is a terrible thing to do. Schools can't reopen unless charter schools shut down and police are defunded, Los Angeles Teachers Union says. Teachers' unions should be disbanded all across the country when they start saying shit like this. Yeah, hold them all accountable. I don't care if it was just Los Angeles Teachers Union. All unions should be held accountable for the stupid shit that one union says. Newsom orders another California lockdown. Bars, restaurants, churches, and gyms. I'm so tired of this shit. All Access Live. Kick back and relax with the guys as they take a break from the headlines to hang out with you and talk religion, movies, culture, and more. Check it out from Daily Wire. And here's a bunch of ads. Moving along to the Daily Yahoo. Grant Imahara, Mythbusters host, dies at 49. An electrical engineer, Imahara co-hosted more than 200 episodes of the Discovery Channel show Mythbusters. Details about his death were not provided by the network. John Legend calls Kanye's presidential bid into question. It's life and death. Think about the impact of your words on the real lives of real people, Legend wrote. Yeah, I think he is. I think that he truly does want Black people to stop being under the thumb of the Democratic Party. I think that he truly does want people to wake up and realize that what they're voting for has not been to their own good. Yeah, he wants his words to have real impact on real people, and they should. Fuck you, John Legend. You and your crazy weird wife. Ghislaine Maxwell. I heard the other day somebody pronounce this Ghislaine, and I have had no idea how to say it, so I've just been saying it like it's spelled. Ghislaine, I think it sounds kind of pretty. But if it's Ghislaine, okay. I don't know. Maxwell says she had no contact with Epstein in 10 years. Not true. In the July 10th court filing protesting her confinement to jail for alleged sex trafficking offenses and perjury in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's attorneys claimed she'd had no contact with Epstein for more than a decade. However, court filings from a prior civil suit obviously said the opposite. Okay. 50 funny camping fails. The camera's timing was perfect. From mindyourdollars.com for some reason. Auguste Alsina goes on a Twitter rant after Jada Pinkett Smith admits past romance. Their drama is far from over. I literally give less than a fuck about this. Judge lifts restraining order on Mary Trump, freeing her to promote tell-all book about family. A New York Supreme Court judge has lifted a restraining order that prevented Mary Trump from publicizing her new tell-all book about her uncle, President Donald Trump, and his family. Robert Trump, the president's brother, had sought a court action to stop the publication. Oh, the president's brother. So not the president? Watch. Police give update on Glee star Naya Rivera's disappearance after finding body in lake. Oh. Naya Rivera went missing on Wednesday during a boating trip at Lake Piru in Ventura County, California with her 4-year-old son, who is fine. He was found sleeping in the boat. Simplified election coverage. Inform your vote with one clear place to focus on the facts, issues, and candidates that matter to you. And I'm sure that place is probably not on Yahoo News. Yahoo Search is what's hot. I'm so surprised. Who would have thought? Trending now, Vanessa Nadal, Alexandra Daddario. Coronavirus at number 3, always number 3. I am positive that that is fixed. I am positive that they just don't want people to forget about it. So they tack it right there on number 3. Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha? Medicare hearing aids. Foundation repair. Elizabeth Shue. Dell refurbished laptops. ACM awards. Microsoft Shawichi? Shawis? Shawichi? Shawiche? Shawis? Shall we say? Shall we say? Shall we say? Shawiche? Okay. Moving on to 1440 in partnership with Policy Genius. Good morning. It's Tuesday, July 14th, and another major school district has announced it won't fully reopen in the fall. That's not going to make Betsy DeVos very happy. She might take away your funding. Federal funding. She can't take away it all, but federal funding. Need to know. LA public schools to stay remote. Oh. But this is unless charter schools close and they defund the police, right? Because it was the Los Angeles Teachers Union that said that stupid shit, right? Los Angeles and San Diego public schools will remain online only when they reopen in the fall, officials announced yesterday. The LA Unified District is the country's second largest, and the two combined to serve more than 850,000 students. The news came as California announced a rollback of reopening plans, halting indoor operations at restaurants, bars, entertainment venues, and elsewhere. The state is averaging almost 8,000 new cases per day. That includes gyms, also, by the way. Some of the increase in cases can be attributed to increased testing capacity. Still, test positivity, the fraction of people that get tested that have the virus, has doubled across the U.S. since mid-June to almost 9%. Yeah, how about the deaths? Because the deaths are still super way lower than they were before. One bright spot has been New York City. Once the world's epicenter, officials confirmed the city reported 0 COVID-19 deaths Saturday, the first time since the panic began that no deaths have been tallied. That's because everyone's fucking had it now. You have herd immunity. Congratulations. That's how you do it. Except, for the putting people in nursing homes and killing old people that didn't have to die. But whatever. That's herd immunity. The U.S. has reported 3.36 million total cases with 135,615 alleged deaths as of this morning. See the moving 3-day average here. Outside the U.S., Mexico exceeded 35,000 deaths, passing Italy for the 4th highest total worldwide, and yet Mexicans are still coming over our border. And that's why Texas is seeing the spike that it is. And that's not being talked about. We need to continue securing it. There's been wall construction. There needs to be more. Passing Italy for the 4th highest total worldwide. Overseas, officials in Africa, where the outbreak has so far been better than originally feared, announced new daily cases had risen by 24% over the past week. Separately, we're reading this look at how basic technology shortfalls, like reliance on fax machines, is a choke point for public health officials at the local level. Okay. South China Sea. The U.S. said yesterday it would not recognize Chinese claims of sovereignty over waters of the South China Sea. A significant escalation of tensions, the move applies only to the sea's waters, avoiding disputes over islands. The sea is strategically located between China, Vietnam, the Philippines, and other islands, and is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, facilitating $3 trillion in annual trade. China has aggressively asserted its influence for decades based on an informal map made by the ruling Communist Party in 1947, though the claims are not internationally recognized. The U.S., seeking to ensure open access to and through its waters, has avoided direct confrontation, relying on United Nations mediation. You should never rely on United Nations mediation. The sea also contains upward of 10 billion barrels of oil and almost 200 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. See a history of the complex tensions in the region here. Redskins officially dropped. The NFL's Washington Redskins announced yesterday they would formally drop the moniker and associated logo. The decision, after nearly 9 decades of use, was expected amid growing pressure from investors and business partners over what many consider to be a racial slur against Native Americans. Yeah, as I talked about in the Sundry Sports episode, they finally, after all this time, have given in because of sponsors, investors, business partners. And those sponsors who finally chose to put pressure, they're being pressured by their fear from the loudest tantrum-having people on social media. That's it. Not the majority. Not anybody who really matters. Just whoever is the loudest and the most annoying. That's why this is so frustrating. So stupid. Team owner Dan Snyder had long resisted calls for change, contending the name was a term of respect. Yeah? He had reason to, because they really did do surveys of actual Native Americans. The brand also accounts for about $230 million of the team's $3.4 billion valuation. A replacement name has not been revealed, but leading contenders include the Red Tails, an homage to the Tuskegee Airmen, the Black World War II Squadron, whose planes had distinctly colored tails, and the Warriors, said to be a Snyder favorite. The Red Wolves has also emerged as a fan favorite, which could leverage existing uniform design. See a history of the term redskin here. Or red foxes. There are no foxes in the NFL. But, I had the most brilliant idea. They should be the Washington Squaws. Just think about it. Women are awesome. No other NFL team has their name giving homage to women. Women are brave. Women are amazing. Women are powerful. And Native American women, historically, kind of were actually those things. So, yeah, think on it. Washington Squaws. A re-shopping spree. Policy genius. Re-shopping for home insurance policies can reveal some incredible savings, but why does it have to sound like it's a homework assignment? Going through all the home insurance options available means a lot of legwork, which is time-consuming and, frankly, no fun. Good thing, then, that Policy Genius can do all of the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is answer a couple of questions about yourself and your property, and their experts will compare your home insurance policy against options from top companies to ensure you're getting the right coverage at the best possible price point. And the best part, if Policy Genius experts find you a better rate than what you're currently paying, they'll get you switched at no extra cost. So now's probably a good time to do some home insurance re-shopping, but don't make it homework. Check out Policy Genius today and compare home and auto policies across different insurers to find your best savings combination. They've saved customers an average of $1,127 per year by doing just that. Join in on the savings. Please support our sponsors. And what was this? Garrett closing in on $125 million deal. Browns star pass rusher Myles Garrett on verge of finalizing 5-year, $125 million extension. Cool. Good for him. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. Brought to you by Kettle and Fire. Body of Glee actress Naya Rivera found at lake 5 days after she went missing. Rivera was 33. Kelly Preston, Jerry Maguire actress and wife of John Travolta, dies at 57 of breast cancer. Mythbusters star Grant Imahara dies at 49. This is not a good month for famous people. Houston Rockets superstar Russell Westbrook tests positive for the coronavirus. NBA announces 19 players have tested positive since July 1st. Hamilton musical cast album becomes first cast album since 1969. Hair. To hit number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart. Haven't seen Hamilton yet? Check out our preview before you watch. Drool-worthy flavors keep clean eating fresh, interesting, and fun. Boredom kills any healthy eating plan, which is why Kettle and Fire created 16 distinct bone broth flavors that hit the spot no matter what you're in the mood for. Grab 20% off with code 1440. Science and technology. Google launches $10 billion digitization. Google launches $10 billion digitization fund for India, focused on building out the country's internet and communications technology ecosystem. Okay. Good for them. Cool. Watch out for India, y'all need to watch out for Google's tendency to want to control your, government, that type of thing. The smooth handfish becomes the first modern saltwater fish, registered on the list of endangered species to be officially declared extinct. Researchers produce sperm stem cells in the lab, in a significant step toward treating infertility. Stem cells can be grown into full-fledged sperm carrying the donor's genetic material. Neato. Cool. What is this? From Andrew Clavin. Medical experts now believe Joe Biden's something. It's probably satire. Business and markets. S&P 500 swings 2% to end the day down 0.9% after briefly entering positive returns territory for 2020. Shares of Tesla end down 3% after starting day up 16%, briefly becoming the 10th most valuable U.S. stock before intraday drop. PepsiCo beats quarterly revenue and profit estimates as consumers load up on snack products and packaged goods. Oh, that's healthy. Analog Devices to acquire fellow semiconductor chipmaker Maxim Integrated for $21 billion in largest U.S. deal this year. Politics and world affairs. Last-minute court order halts the execution of Daniel Lewis Lee. What? What was to be the first federal execution since 2003? Challenge centers on the use of pentobarbital as the lethal injection agent. What the Supreme Court issues overnight ruling will allow execution to proceed today. Oh, okay. Jeez. It must be exhausting to be this guy. U.S. monthly budget deficit hits all-time high of $864 billion, driven by coronavirus stimulus spending. Ugh. Figure roughly equals the first 10 months of 2019's deficit combined. Ugh. Excavations begin at the site of a potential mass grave from the and that is why I'm super what's the word? Damn it. What's the word? Conflicted. That's why I'm so conflicted. I was so conflicted back when we got our stimulus money and about the idea of getting more because we kind of need it. There's things that we need to get done. There's things that we need to do. But the country does not need to be giving away so much money. It's just bad. Bad. Excavations begin at the site of a potential mass grave from the 1921 Tulsa riots. Work expected to be completed within a week. In depth. Why we can't stop spreading misinformation. From 10/Medium. Whether it is banal and relatively harmless, like a monkey playing memory games, or has real-life implications, our brains are hardwired to read and repeat easy-to-believe chunks of information. And for some reason, we disdain researching and verifying. The Bomber Mafia, from Revisionist History podcast. A fascinating look at the life of Air Force General Curtis LeMay, credited with designing an effective but controversial bombing campaign in World War II's Pacific Theater. No more heavy lifting. Policy Genius knows you live a busy life and don't have time to sift through all of the different home and auto insurance policies available, so they created a team of experts to do it for you. If you find savings, the average reshopper saves $1,127 annually, they'll switch your policies at no extra cost to you. Start reshopping today without even thinking about it. Please support our sponsors. It literally just said do this without even thinking about it. Wow. That's very direct marketing. Etc. Ever lost luggage while flying? It's probably for sale in Alabama. Okay. How face mask usage varies by demographics. The innovative history of the ice cream truck. From our partners, these might be the coziest pair of shoes you'll ever own. Okay, we'll see what that is. Allbirds. Allbirds.com. Okay. Those look comfy. Where was I? This year's top states for UFO sightings. How to see the comet Neowise before it leaves for 6,800 years. Ford brings back the iconic Bronco. A lot of them. Sweet. Let's click on that. Ford brings back the Bronco SUV with a dizzying array of options. 2-door, 4-door, and sport variants, 7 trim levels, and a ton of customization. I'm going to leave that open. Vermont is stunning when viewed from a drone. I think Vermont is stunning from the ground also, isn't it? Joshua Tree National Park closed by aggressive bees. Stop being jerks, you bees. Somebody told them that they were endangered, so they're like, hey, fuck you guys. Clickbait. Pub installs an electric fence to enforce social distancing. My word. History book. Revolutionaries in France stormed the Bastille, 1789. So it's Bastille Day. Cool. Archaeologist and spy Gertrude Bell born, 1868. President Gerald Ford born, 1913. Howard Hughes breaks record for 91-hour flight around the world, 1938. Was this the one that was in the Spruce Goose? Possibly. NASA's New Horizon probe completes initial survey of solar system, 2015. There is nothing more difficult to measure than the value of visible emotion. Gertrude Bell. What? Oh, because she was a spy. Okay, in that context, yes, I see. And that's it for 1440. Thank you, and goodbye.